Wednesday. We've got some pretty cool stuff dialed up for you today. Got Taylor with me, of course. Hey, Taylor, how's it going?
Sup? Doing pretty well.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, what we're going to talk about today is the opportunity and pipeline utility built right inside of TruePartnerAI. Now, what this does is it solves the issue of organizing and tracking and following up with all of your leads that you have in your system. Now, I say leads, but actually, it's a lot more robust than that. The pipeline view inside of TruePartnerAI is incredibly robust, and we're going to show you some different ways that you can configure it so that you don't let leads fall through the cracks, number one, that you can keep an eye on your sales funnels and pipelines no matter where your leads or prospects are, or customers if you set it up that way. And then Taylor's going to show us some really cool things on automations. So how you can use your pipeline views to trigger automations to take a ton of work off your plate. So anyway, pretty excited about it today. So let's just jump right in. But first, actually, really quick, I don't know if you relate to this, but have you ever had a team member or even yourself actually when you go into their office and man, they've got sticky notes everywhere, maybe even a napkin with names and phone numbers and notes on it and things that we need to do. And, look, that's still valuable. I mean, I still have a notepad that I like to write stuff down on. But the biggest issue is with a system where you can't get everybody aggregated into one location is all of a sudden your bucket that you've worked so hard to fill has holes in it, and leads and prospects can fall right through and drain out and go somewhere else. And, if you're in a high margin business, like a loan officer, of course, real estate agent, anything like that, that can cost you thousands of dollars. So, and we've all been there. We've all had leads that have fallen through the cracks. But anyway, so patching these holes up in the bucket is going to be a big help. Also, side note, if you have teams and you're managing a sales team at all, then these views will totally help you see where opportunities lie and where people are getting missed, and help you plug those holes as well. All right. So that's a pretty long intro, but it's one of those features that's built right in that's pretty amazing here in TruePartner. All right. So why don't we just jump right to the screen share. Now, Taylor, feel free to jump in anytime you want when you see anything that needs to be addressed. Okay. So this is the pipeline view under opportunities. Now, some of you may not be aware, but typically how this works, a very common setup in a marketing platform or a CRM is you have your list of contacts, and then those contacts can become opportunities or deals, right? So there's people call them different things, whatever you want to call them, leads, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but this is where you have a contact, and then that person who expresses interest in your product or service then can become an opportunity, and it'll go right into the pipeline view. Now, if you're familiar with Pipedrive made this type of view pretty popular a number of years ago. Pipedrive still exists to my knowledge, but this will replace Pipedrive entirely. And the great thing about that is now you've got all of your pipelines sitting inside of TruePartner with everything else as well. Okay, so let's just take a look at a few different examples of what a pipeline will do for you and how it can help. Okay, so first things first, what we have right here is just a sample pipeline, and we've got sample data in here, obviously, because we don't want to jeopardize anybody's privacy. But this is a sales process pipeline. Okay, so again, sales process is anything or is your process that converts a lead to a customer. So, for example, you get a referral, and then what do you do with that referral? Well, step one, they have said that they want to chat, or you can call it agreed to engage. All right, so you've got this list of people that have agreed to engage, and then what's the next step? Well, you actually have that phone appointment with them. You call them. What would be the next step? They do an application, and in the mortgage space, they would do a loan application, right? And then once that loan application is complete, they go into the pre-approved and looking status, and then they become an active loan. So if you look at this from the standpoint of managing your sales process, you want to take anybody that has expressed interest in what you've got to offer. You want to take them from that to an active loan or active contract, right? So that, and then your fulfillment process takes over after that. Okay, so this is a very typical view of this process, of the sales process. So let me just show you how it works. So each one of these people has information about them in their deal. Okay, so you can book appointments, you can assign tasks, and you can write notes, anything about that particular deal, right? And then you can also add custom fields down here, which is very, very helpful. All right. So, but here's a cool thing. Let's just look through the workflow. We don't want to get too far into the details because we don't want you to be bored. It's nothing. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you get called, "Hey, do you want to come play?" And you're like, "Yeah, I totally want to go play with my friend." So you go over to your friend's house and then they say, "Hey, check out this cool video game I've got. You want to just watch me play it?" So you sit there and watch them play it for like an hour. That sucks. We don't want to do that today. We just want to get your brain going on the power behind the platform here. Okay. So the drag and drop is very, very cool because now you can at a glance see everything that you need to do with your people. So for example, if I'm managing my sales pipeline, I could open this at any time and say, "Hey, listen, I've got these people screened. I've talked to them on the phone. I've talked to Lisa and Krusty the Clown on the phone, but I don't have their loan application yet." Right? How many times have you written that down? Like, "Oh, wait, who's giving me my loan app?" It's probably happened a million times. So then when that loan app comes in, you just simply move the tile to where they are in the milestone. It's so simple and very, very easy to do. Okay. And Taylor's going to show you some cool stuff with that in just a minute. What you can do with that. All right. So, and also, it's also very simple to just simply click, move your people, and then make moves based on where they're at. So let me give you a real world example. Okay. Let's just move a whole bunch of these over here. So let's say I sit down to the computer and I open it up. Here I am in TruePartnerAI. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've got 5 leads that have come in, right? They're all sitting here. And I need to reach out to them and schedule an appointment. But guess what? I'm super busy. So I need to follow up with these people quickly. So what I can do is go over to my contact views. I do a filter and I look in. Whoops, let's type this correctly. It's always so hard to type. I look in the pipeline stage. So first we're going to do what pipeline they're in. So they're in the deal pipeline is want to chat. Okay. And I apply that. That shows me everybody that's in that pipeline right now. Now I can make this a smart list, but we'll just move forward. And then I simply select all of them and then send them all a text. Okay. Now remember, I can call them by first name, right? I can put those placeholders and I can say, "Hey, following up on scheduling an appointment with you to talk about what you're interested in," right? So in just a few clicks, you can communicate with everybody in the system and see and follow up with them to move them along. Now that's for the one-off stuff. Let me give you an example about that. So I was working with a client. They were running Facebook lead ads, okay? And they had a pipeline. I'm going to show you this similar to this called online leads. In the online lead section, they wanted to keep these leads separate from the referrals, right? Because referrals have a much better chance of closing. They're closer to 25%, where sometimes online leads might be anywhere from 1 to 3%, right? In that range. So they wanted to keep them totally different. So they created a separate pipeline for the online leads. Side note, you can create unlimited pipelines. I'll show you that in a minute. But in this list of online leads, they had after, oh gosh, about 2 months, they had about 150 people just in this column alone, just in. So using that strategy that I just showed you, they went back, they sent a text out to all 150. Of those 150, about 4, I believe the number was 4, replied and said, "Yes, actually, we're ready to do a pre-qualification. When can we talk about that?" Okay. So that was a very quick move, a very simple and easy thing to do to reactivate some old leads, right, that had come in, and then they were able to move them down into the pipeline. And then at this particular stage, what they've done is once they have that initial conversation, they can actually move this client to the next stage. Okay. So you change it over from maybe move them from the deal and then want to chat, or they've been screened, whatever the case may be. So you've got all of this ability to keep things organized. Okay. So, further, you can also do whatever pipelines you want. So these are referral partners. So this is how you keep track of people that are sending you business and then what you need to do with them to keep encouraging that to happen, right? So in your business, you probably have a number of different pipelines that you want to create. And so that happens inside this pipeline view where you can create any new pipeline you want, you name it, you add stages, you move the stages around. Very, very simple. And then you can keep track and communicate however you wish. All right. Now, if you're managing multiple people or multiple salespeople, like maybe you are a broker and you manage either real estate agents or other loan officers, well, this is a really great way to have individual pipelines for each one and keep track of them. And then you can look at them at a glance. So you can actually combine them all and look at them at a glance to see where you're at from the standpoint of the company. All right. So you don't want to overlook the power of the pipeline views and what can take place inside of TruePartner with just those views. Now, what I've shown you is just the view section. And then I'm going to kick this over to Taylor. I'm going to have Taylor show you the next level of things that you can do with your pipelines with automations. All right, Taylor, you ready to rock? You are muted. So classic.
Not anymore.
Right, perfect.
All right, let's see if I remember how to share a screen here. Okay, so here we are in the pipeline view, and just like we're talking about moving your people around through their different statuses or stages, whatever you want to call them. In the real world, what you would probably do is if you have somebody who you've received an application from, that application is approved, you move them over to approved and looking. Now, you would, in your normal process, take the time to write out an email. Hey, thanks for getting the application in. We've got this approved. Here's your next steps that you need to take. And if you have a lot of people that you need to do that with, that can be very time consuming. So this whole pipeline system can be tied into automations. And I'll show you exactly the power of the automation and what you can do here. So if we add a trigger, our pipeline stage is changed, and that's in the pipeline, deal pipeline, and the status is changed to pipeline stage is changed to pre-approved and looking. Remember, we need all those filters. Otherwise, anytime any status change happens, it'll trigger the automation. So we have to tell it exactly what to look for. So once
Which is awesome because you can drill this down really, really tight.
Exactly. Or if you have something that you want to use for just like a blanket sweep automation task or thing, you can do that too. So our trigger here, pipeline stage is changed to that pre-approved and looking. Let's send them an email.
Perfect.
Thanks. You're approved. Type. Or whatever you want, your attachment, URLs, and stuff like that. That will go out automatically whenever that pipeline, someone is put into that pipeline stage. Conversely,
so really quick, sorry to jump in, but just a real world example here. So you go to your very first pipeline stage, say somebody wants to talk to you about what you've got going on for them, right? So you talk to a referral on the phone, you screen them, and then what's your next natural move? Well, your instructions generally to the person that you screened are, hey, listen, I'm going to send you a loan application link. I'm going to send you a document request list, plus a few other things, a few other instructions to get you going. And so, typically people will sit down and type that email out. So you can have that email pre-built. You can even have it texted, by the way. We do that all the time. I'm going to text you the link. And then you just set that up in the automation to send that thing out automatically when you move the tile over. So the second you move that tile over to screened, then boom, it'll automatically send that automation out.
Yep. And you can do that for any stage in any
Email.
pipeline.
Yep. Perfect.
And conversely, you can even set up automations that manage the moving of your opportunities within the pipelines. So, for example, one I used a while ago was if we have somebody who submits a form for like a lead magnet thing on a website, they're interested in something that we're offering, and we want them to go to the website and fulfill a certain bunch of steps in the sales process. We could use the form submitted trigger, and you can create and update an opportunity. You choose your pipeline you want to create it to. You want to choose where you want the contact to be dropped. Add some names. You can add a source, all this other information, and it will, based on something else that has happened, create an opportunity in the pipeline. So you can even automate that management and then use different triggers, such as like clicking a specifically set up URL to move them to another stage and that kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of nifty stuff.
Yeah, you have tons of flexibility. And sometimes you want to assign tasks automatically. Like, hey, I just sent this out to this person. And then you can have it automatically assign a task to somebody else on your team. So
Totally.
the point of all of this is really to take what your workflows naturally are and to automate so much of it. So you're really doing two things. You're saving yourself a ton of time, and I mean a ton of time. And you're giving your team and yourself a lot of consistency, because that's probably one of the biggest issues that small businesses run into, and every small business is, and even large business, honestly, is randomness. So when you're random, you've got stuff all over the place. But when you have things loaded into a system, then all of a sudden things start working like a machine, and stuff that might get or might slip through the cracks gets accounted for and taken care of. So this pipeline engine inside of TruePartnerAI, it's not talked about very often, but it's one of the most powerful solutions for a small business to help you save a ton of money and a ton of time overall. So, and we could go over all sorts of automations that you could do inside of this, but the big thing is, Taylor, is you don't want to get overwhelmed. Really, what you do is you just map out TruePartnerAI to mimic what you already would do if you could do everything on your own. And so I will often recommend clients take a notepad and just sketch out the workflow for their client, the customer journey in a perfect world, and then match and customize TruePartnerAI to what they do. So the point isn't necessarily to have like tons of templates that change what you do. It's to mold your platform to mimic you. And there's not a better platform out there or an easier platform out there to do that than TruePartnerAI. So
it's true.
Anything else you want to talk about there, Taylor?
That basically covers it.
Okay. So here's the thing. Right now, we have a killer deal going on at TruePartnerAI. We want as many people exploding their business as possible using this amazing platform to help you do just that. So here's a special link for you. Go to vip.truepartnersuccess.com. vip.truepartnersuccess.com. You'll get a killer price right now that we can't offer for very long, but it's such a great price that anybody can add TruePartnerAI to their business and really start accelerating their growth. Okay, so you got any more questions? Reach out to us. Go to TruePartnerSuccess.com, or of course, don't forget vip.truepartnersuccess.com, and let's get working together. Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate your help, and we'll talk soon.